Hi, this is Dave Kroll from Chromite. I saw this example on the web and I thought it might be nice to put it together in ExtendSim. This is a balking example. And balking is when an item or entity does not join the queue, even though the queue has space. So in this example, we're going to join the queue if the queue length is less than or equal to 4, or there's going to be a 70% chance that we join the queue if the queue length is less than or equal to 10. So as I'm sure you can imagine, this is often used in service systems like call centers, banking, retail establishments, that sort of thing. So I'm going to begin the model as all the extend discrete event models with an executive. So I'll go to the item library and I'll grab an executive. Then I'm going to drop in a create block. So we'll create, in this case, we'll call them customers. And then a select block. We're going to use a select item out, and this is where they will choose whether or not they are going to bulk. So I'll just drop that over there. And if they bulk, they're just going to go to an exit block. If they don't bulk, they go to a queue and then an activity and then an exit. There's my exit. Okay. So let's just, label these. So customers arrive. And then we're going to see if they bulk. Wait in the queue. And then this is service. And I'm going to change my distribution of service times here. I'm going to change it to a distribution. And a triangular is fine. There's other choices, of course, but a triangular will work well here. And let's see, our minimum is 2, our maximum is 6, and most likely is 4. And I am going to use the clone tool and make a copy of that so you can see what those look like. Just grab those, put that right up there. And then I'll do the same thing with the arrival. That's just an exponential with a mean of 1. So we've got a lot more arrivals than we do capacity to bring them through the service. I do need to change something else on the select item out block. I need to change that from a random selection to the select connector. So if we had simple bulking where the queue just had a capacity, we could just put a capacity on the queue, have the select item out, choose by priority, and be done with it. But this is a little more complex. We've got a couple conditions there. So we'll put those in. So now you can see we've got a select connector here, and this is going to choose which way the item goes. So I'm going to look at the queue length, and first thing I'm going to do is type in a named connection, and I just double click on the screen and type in queue length. And I'll connect the length of the queue to the queue length. Now there's other information we can get out of the queue as well, but in this case we just need queue length. Then I'm going to duplicate that. And the first thing I need to do is compare that to 4 and see if it's less than or equal to 4. So in ExtendSim there's a handy block for that. It's called a decision block, and it's in the value library. So let's grab a decision right there. Our queue length, and right now it's set to see is if A is greater than B and B is 0. So we want to see if A is less than or equal to B and B is 4. Okay, so we've done that part of it. So if the queue length is less than or equal to 4, then we're going to join the queue. And I haven't connected that up yet because I've got a little more logic to put in there. Now the next bit is to see if it's less than or equal to 10. So let me duplicate all that. But if it's less than or equal to 10, I'll change this 4 to a 10 here, we only have a 70% chance of joining the queue. So I'm going to use a random number block and a binomial distribution, and this is a kind of a coin flip distribution. I'll either get 0s or 1 out of this, and this is an unfair coin flip. So 70% of the time I'll get a 1, and 30% of the time I'll get a 0. So these two conditions have to be true if we're going to join the queue. So I'm going to add a math block and set that to AND. So we have to have the queue length less than or equal to 10, and our binomial distribution has to return a true. And then for the other conditions, this is an OR. So either the queue length is less than or equal to 4, or the Q length is less than or equal to 10, and we're in the 70% part of the binomial distribution. So I'll duplicate my math block, change that from an and to an or, and that's going to be below your screen, but it's my screen's bigger than the area I'm recording. So there's an or down there. And there we go. We connect those up. And then I'm just going to create another named connection called join Q. There we go. Duplicate that and connect that up to the Q. So when this is 1, we'll take the lower path, we'll join the Q. When it's 0, we'll take the upper path. We could arrange the model differently. We could do all this in one equation if we wanted to. This is just a real quick way of doing it. A nice thing about this way of doing it is if you watch the animation, we will see the conditions, whether they evaluate to true or false. So let's take a look at this. So we've got our items coming through here. Right now the Q length is 0, so they're all going to join the Q, and we can see that we've got true values. These red balls on the yes connectors mean that we've got true values coming out there. Now when that Q hits 5, you'll see the top connector go to 0. There, it just did that. Now it gets to 10, you'll see the bottom one go to 0. So let's let it get up to 10. I've got it animating pretty slowly here so we can see what's going on. And we'll see some occasional balks here between when the Q length's between 4 and 10 because of that random probability that there will be balking. But we've gotten to 10. If we get to 11, if it cooperates with me here, now it's balking. There we go. 10, 11, and now you can see that bottom connector went to 0. If we have another 11, we'll see the next one to arrive will automatically balk. So again, this is Dave Kroll from Chromite. If you have any questions, please contact me. Thank you. Bye.